All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Podcast Unbroken. I believe it's episode number 18. My name is Hudson. Co-host Roderick is not here today. He'll probably be back in the next one. But today I'm joined by Coach Shawna, a good friend of mine and a nutrition coach. And I want to bring her on today because one thing that I want to talk about that we can kind of feed off of what her experience is with her field of being a nutrition coach, then kind of tie it into like people's daily life. But people not hitting their goals, or like people not being able to, not having the knowledge or experience or whatever it may be that's preventing them from getting their goals. So what do you feel like are the biggest reasons why people don't get the body or the PRs they want to get? They
don't want it bad enough, and sounds like such a shallow statement to make, but they don't care about it enough. They're not willing to make sacrifices. They're not willing to change their life. They're not willing to undo habits that they're comfortable with now. So they get into this mentality of like, they start their first week and they're on board and they did all these things and they're like, I'm gonna crush this. But why they're making those goals initially, they haven't emotionally connected with deep enough to allow them to stick with it past, that first week or two when it's super easy. So they just don't, like Simon Sinek, have you ever heard of him?
Sounds familiar.
He came on board, like the conversation of finding your why.
Oh, yeah. That's his book.
Yeah.
I've read his book. And that
applies to anything. Like, your podcast Unbroken, you stay consistent with that because you have a why attached to that. Sort of.
We were for a while.
Like Rolo Athletics or coaching at the gym or constantly varied fitness. I mean, actually, that's a fucking perfect example. Mm-hmm. Like, you have a why to that. You enjoy it, but it goes beyond that. Like, you have seen where it can take you. You see who it connects you with. And when it comes to nutrition, especially, like, you're not just changing a small part of your life. Like exercise, you can do, you can make a few small adjustments in your daily life, and then all of a sudden you have room for an hour of going to the gym or, taking a walk or something like that. But nutrition is like, holy shit, okay, I eat like crap, I spend all day not eating, and then I get home and I end up eating a whole pizza, and I have to deal with my kids and my husband, and maybe my job doesn't allow me to take breaks. So nutrition is like, it's not just one little thing that you get to tweak and then all of a sudden it's super easy. You have to change, sometimes you have to change your whole life.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, not a big deal if, you're so motivated because you went to the doctors and they're like, you're going to die in 6 months if you don't fix your diet. But if you're someone who's maybe 10 pounds overweight and all of a sudden, especially as a woman, you're looking at like, well, I'm supposed to fit this preconceived notion from society that if I'm 5'5", I'm supposed to be 130 pounds. So I need to lose that 10 pounds. You're not going to stick with it because that isn't really important to you. You are letting society dictate who you're supposed to be. So like I said, you'll stick with it for a couple weeks, and then, as soon as like a party happens or, you go on vacation or, a long week of work happens, you give up because the why wasn't so strong to
make it a priority.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I thought you were going to go into this part with what you were saying, but kind of like how like everyone says like you have to look like this, look like that. With magazines, everyone has all these curves. But then like, let's say for example, you try a diet, but you're not going to make it a priority, but you find a dress, and then all of a sudden the dress like makes you look slimmer, makes you look like you lost 10 pounds. Boom, I got what I wanted. I got this like satisfaction because showing all my friends that, hey, I look like this. So, so you can get that positive feedback or reassurance, like, wow, your friends, you look really good, and you're like, oh, okay, good, even though
right.
I don't feel good, or or like whatever. Like I feel like that's a big part of it too, is people can find like ways to get around that society's acceptance of how they should look.
Right, absolutely. But I also think it's realizing that no one gets to decide. First off, it shouldn't be about how you look. It should be about your health. Because everybody, they might look at me based off my BMI or body mass index, I'm overweight. And because I'm 5'5" and I weigh 150 pounds. And that is, your BMI is they had this whole thing where if you're a certain height and a certain weight, then by default, you're gonna be in a healthy weight range. And you look at me and they're gonna say I'm overweight, and it's I could crush most, probably 75 to 80% of normal people in everyday fitness.
Well, not even that. If you went through all the health protocols and had your blood work done and stuff, you'd probably be
super fucking healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just because you weigh a certain weight, I know a lot of people that are super skinny and that eat trash all day long.
Exactly. So it's it isn't, you can't just decide, that you're supposed to look a certain way. It absolutely should be your health. You should be able to squat, you should be able to get down and up off of the ground, you should be, able to probably run a mile like that, even if it's at a slow pace. I'm gonna turn the fan on real quick. I'm afraid it's gonna blow too loud and you'll hear it in the mics. Okay. All right. That's what you're saying. Yeah, so it's it shouldn't be they shouldn't feel like they have to ascribe to a certain set of aesthetics. They should be able to focus on their health, and then their body, we've talked about it a million times, their body will evolve as they feed their body for health.
And then I think also too, it's they should literally make a list of what they want. This is something that has helped me with certain things in the past. Make a list of what exactly you want. So maybe you can make multiple things. You want to lose weight. You want to have bigger legs. You want to have whatever all these different parameters are, and then you should put a Y next to that.
Absolutely.
And then from there you rate them. Okay, maybe I would like to lose 10 pounds, but maybe just gaining 5 pounds of muscle outweighs that.
Right.
So then it's you can kind of play it that way and realize once you gain your main priority, 10 pounds. Weight loss is not as important to me. I don't really care for as much. I feel that's a big thing because everyone wants, going back to what you said, society's perception on how they should look or feel or being accepted by everyone else.
I would if I could do one magic wand wave and to change people's thought process on one thing like that. I would like them to care about the environment, but that's not gonna happen.
that's another episode.
Yeah. I would like to wave my wand and get them to stop letting everybody else dictate how they should feel based off how they look. Because I think that's the most fucked up. I had an athlete just the other day that I was talking to. She is blessed. She's got a beautiful body, and she's trim. She's an amazing athlete. She's already on the leaderboard in the gym as someone that people want to be like. And she's gained a bunch of muscle in the last 9 months. And her initial was she came to me and she's I want to get down to this weight. And she's at this weight. And I'm why?
I feel that's the biggest thing I hear. It's kind of people say I want to lose weight or I want to weigh this number. That is going back to the BMI. It's so irrelevant.
Absolutely.
It means nothing.
It means nothing. And you've seen the things on Google or Facebook where they show the 3 or 4 different people and they're all the same weight. And the one woman that's skinny fat, the one woman that's skinny, the one woman that's overweight, and the one woman that's rocking a 6-pack, and they all weigh 150 pounds. And it's that should be your indicator, how you think you look.
If your goal is to lose weight.
Right. Absolutely. And you also shouldn't, again, if you're healthy, why do you have to lose weight? They come to me and they pinch this and they're I would like this to be gone, or, I'd like this to be gone. And I'm why? What, do you think that all of a sudden you're gonna lose this little muffin top and then you're gonna go out and be on the beach and
you're gonna get a raise?
Yeah, or you think it's just
you're gonna get a nicer car.
Yeah, I don't.
Life's gonna be better.
Their life's gonna be better, or it's they think that will give them the confidence to wear the bikini, and like I get it to a certain extent. I will say I've gotten way more confident in my body since I put on this muscle and I've leaned out to the level I have, but I've also recognized that I have a favorite quote: even pretty people have problems. And I realized that, you know, these gorgeous women that are like, look like they're flawless and their skin is amazing and they're thin and, you know, they always have the trendiest clothes, and then I see them and they're fidgeting or they're self-conscious, and it emanates from them.
It's never enough.
It's never enough.
Kind of like bodybuilders, like there's always some guy bigger.
Yeah. And so, like, when I see that, and I'm like, this is probably fucked up, but it makes me feel better, because I'm like, okay, like this person, looking at them looks amazing, and they're self-conscious.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're self-conscious looking like that, then why am I worried about, you know, my muffin top? Like, who the fuck cares?
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, I'd rather just throw on a bathing suit and go have fun and play with my friends than, you know, worry about if someone thinks that I have too much body fat on me.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's like, I gotta get my water. Speaking of water, that's like I mean, we've been brainwashed, especially as women, for so long.
I feel, I don't know, but I feel like off the top of my head, if I recall, like every time I do go to the grocery store and I see the magazines, I feel like there's way more female magazines. I feel like
Absolutely.
Females probably read more than guys in general. Like, guys are just dumb and play video games. But like there's so much more out there for ladies, like how they have to look, and that's how society's perception of women is like be lean and beauty and curves and stuff, and then guys, you have to be strong and masculine and big jawline. So it's like that's why when I go through Instagram, I go through the popular page, the ones that pop up like and have the millions of likes on them are the girls with bikinis, and they have all these extravagant lifestyles because they probably get everything handed to them because they're like these influencers that just base off their looks. But then the guys, it's like the guys that lift the most amount of weight, the guys that are like chiseled and look like models, those guys have most likes also, because it's like that's what we perceived as being beautiful, and that's what everyone wants to strive to be. Whereas like I've met plenty of people that can give a shit about how they look or how they weigh or whatever, and it's like they're super confident, and it's like that is like more impressive to me, kind of like how you said, like when you see someone that's not confident, kind of makes you feel better. When I see someone that is confident, that has something that's less than you per se, like maybe they're more overweight than you, or that they're not as strong as you, and that they're just as confident, it's like that is impressive to me.
Yeah.
That is something that I would like to be able to, you know, come to terms with. Like if I were not work out as much, like I feel like I would probably get a little more self-conscious, like if I was not as strong as other people. But the fact that like I know I want to stay as strong as other people, like that's something I need you to help with my confidence. But like if someone can just stay confident without that, that's super cool.
It is. That was, we had one of the coaches at Power Keg, and I remember she was actually my liberator of my shirt because prior to her, like I was super self-conscious about taking my shirt off, and I've never been fat. I've always been strong. I had more body fat on me, but you would never look at me and say, you know, you need to go on a diet. And I remember watching her, and she took her shirt off, and she was thicker than me at the time. And I looked at her, and I was like, she's got an amazing body, and she's an amazing fucking athlete. And if she can take her shirt off, and I mean, at that point, I was actually leaner than her. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I scared? Mm-hmm. And I took it off, and it was like, I don't want to ever. I'm a Jessie. I mean, the minute like you say, warm up, my shirt's off. You know, it's like, and I don't. It's the most amazing feeling on the planet because I will run around half naked, and it feels amazing. Mm-hmm. And I don't care. Like, if someone thinks that I should, you know, be leaner, it's like, that's your opinion. That's on you. Mm. You know, you don't get to put that on me. I like my sweet potato fries.
So then, kind of tying that with the very first thing you said, is that people don't want it enough.
Right.
It came back to like, you know, someone might be motivated to whatever their goal is, whether to lose weight, gain weight, whatever. Like for the first week, they're all about it, and they kind of die off, and they settle back to complacency. And I feel like that's the biggest thing stopping everyone. Like in life, it's like everyone wants to be comfortable and like have it easy and have able to like just do the bare minimum, and that's what most society like is happy to do. That's why, like, I gave you this analogy a while ago. It's like a lot of people, like some people are meant to be 7-Eleven workers. Some people are meant to cut lawns for the rest of their life. Not only does that have to be the way it is, because otherwise we'd be paying like people that mow lawns $100 an hour, because then it'd be an actual skill. But like there has to be someone that's willing. And I mean, that's the way it is. And someone's willing to go do a 9 to 5, go home, I'm gonna watch TV, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna lay in my bed, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be on my phone, I'm gonna sleep, go do it again. I get my 2 weeks of vacation every year, and like that's the way it is. And like that's literally, and then another thing that came to my head the other day, kind of tying off of this, is like, what if one day you woke up and you had absolutely nothing? You had literally nothing. But you would, like, when you had 2 different scenarios, you're the person that worked a 9 to 5, kept stacking their pennies until they eventually got a house, eventually got a car, eventually got all these different things, and all this stuff was gone. Now I have to wait another 40 years to save all this money to get this again. Whereas, do you have a skill? Do you have a trait? Do you have something that allows you? Are you able to put in the work, essentially? Because I mean, you can make money doing anything, affiliate marketing, whatever it is. Do you have the mindset and the skill to go and make that money back and be okay? So that's something I've been trying to think about, because there's a lot of people that just want to settle and be complacent, and it's like, now there's the earthquake going on. Like, I've been thinking so much about it. It's like, what if for some reason, even if you had earthquake insurance, like your house fucking disappeared tomorrow? Are you able to do the work to go get another house? So like, I feel like people right now are just so complacent, and that's why they're not chasing their goals, because they want comfortability. But like, that's what's killing people from being great. I think any single person on this earth could be a millionaire if they wanted to.
Absolutely. But it goes, so it's all about your belief system. It's all about who you've decided you are, who you've decided you can be, who you've decided you were. And most of the time, people are not lazy or complacent as they are scared.
You say not most of the time? I think most of the time that is the case, but not every time.
So I completely disagree. I do not think people are intrinsically lazy. I think they are intrinsically afraid and intrinsically unmotivated. You and I are motivated individuals. We see opportunity around every corner because we have our eyes open for additional opportunities.
So if someone lacks the motivation, does that make them lazy?
No, I don't think so. Because I think lazy infers that someone is, it's a derogatory statement. It's like saying, like I have lazy Saturdays where I book off that when I come home from the gym at 2, I'm not doing jack shit for the rest of the day. I'm gonna lay on my couch and watch TV, and I'm gonna be lazy. Maybe I have responsibilities that I could be addressing that I'm not.
But that's not what you characterize as you. If you did that every day, then I would call you lazy.
Right, you would call me, but I think people like that, like when you talk to someone who is stuck in that 9 to 5 and they think that this is all their life, all that life has to offer for them, it's because of the stories they've been told by the people around them, their friends, their family, their significant others, and then it's the story that they tell themselves. This is all I'm good for. This is all I'm capable of. This is all life has to offer for me.
I agree.
And so they don't, that like Tony Robbins, one of the reasons he's so fucking successful is because people go to his weekend seminars and he verbally slaps them in the face and says, wake the hell up. Like, your life is yours to live however you want to live it. But people, they don't think that. They have that victim mentality. Life happens to me, and everything, I have to react to everything that happens. And I'm always chasing, being able to pay my bills. I have to focus on the responsibilities I have. They don't realize that, they could change where they are now and have a better, different, bigger life if they wanted.
So now with that being said, that's a good point. A lot of people, like I follow certain YouTube channels, like how to save money, how to invest, how to do this, and a lot of them are just saying the same thing over. Gary Vee, he says the same exact thing over and over and over in different words. That's all he does. Is he says the same. I started my dad's business at this. I had this much money. I made this much money. Now I do this, that. Like he says the same exact sentence in different words every single time we talk to someone about motivating them, telling them like how I got successful. So people do need that sometimes to get slapped in the face, but there's some people, like Gary Vee has, I don't know how many exactly, but if I would guess, I would say 1 million subscribers on YouTube of people eating the same exact thing, and they keep thinking, because I was just at this once at this point where it's like, okay, cool, that sounds good, but like I want more. Like, what are the 5 secrets to building a business? What are the all these hot words right now? Secrets, tips, like strategies, fast track. It's like everyone wants the easy way out, and I think those kind of people are lazy. People aren't willing to they can see that it's doable. If I see someone say, hey, I make $100 a day sitting on my phone, and unless I go and try that out, like or implement the same things, but I'm still in my head like, man, I'm never gonna be able to do that. What was me? Like, that is a victim mentality in my eyes. In my eyes, that is lazy. If you are someone that grew up and like your parents didn't have anything, you work the same boring job, and literally you're working like 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, then I can see it being much harder. Like you are stuck and you need like something to help you get out of that. But like going back to, again, not everyone, but my opinion, most people are lazy.
So I think
or complacent.
Most people are stuck. I literally just had this conversation with Scott at the gym earlier today. I have a client who came to me and, on paper, she wants to change. She tells me she wants to change. And I give her what she needs to do, and then she comes back at me and I wasn't able to do it because of this. This happened and I couldn't figure it out. This happened and I wasn't able to go to the store. I slept like crap and, blah, blah, blah. Every excuse, or every direction I give her, she has a reason why it's not going to work, or she tried it and failed at it, right? So she's not lazy, because her energy.
What is she then? What is happening?
She's stuck. She has decided. So again, it goes back to the story you tell yourself. Like, you have painted yourself a certain way. You're Hudson, you're a head coach, fiance, soon to be maybe homeowner,
well, my whole entire business, my social security number is...
It's 007, so that's fine. You have this story that you've painted for yourself, right? And you have this future that you are painting for yourself. You have all these goals and aspirations that you're capable of reaching. So you don't have anything limiting you right now that would potentially prevent you from reaching your goals. But that's the story you've told yourself. When people have bad things happen in their childhood, they have parents that were abusive emotionally or physically.
Go back to what I said. Like, if something, they grew up in that circumstance.
But more often than not, people have things like that. And so, I was very, very intolerant when I worked at the vet's office. I was very, very intolerant of people, and they'd come in and they would take, really in my mind, shitty care of their pets. And especially when I was in my early 20s, I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's not that hard to give your dog a pill twice a day to take care of their disease, or, to modify their diet so they're not obese. And then I started to understand that I only got a very small glimpse of these people's lives, and it seemed so easy for me looking on the outside in, because it seemed like it was only one thing. But I didn't know, a lot of people, they think they deserve to be stuck. They think they deserve these lives of shit, and it doesn't even have to be as intense. They don't have to be abused. They could just, at some point, it could have even been just one thing where they got picked on in the playground when they were little, and that moment in time, they started to think to themselves, am I not good enough? Mm-hmm. And then they started to see that lens of life. They started to see life through that lens of, I'm not good enough, from that one instant. And then everything from there on, because they see it that way, all all of life confirms their belief, I'm not good enough. And so that they just keep building on that and building on that, and then they get stuck. And then, you know, like my client, she is
this the one that was said it was coming back with a bunch of reasons why it wasn't going through?
She is stuck. She is not emotionally ready to make changes with her nutrition because she thinks in her mind, and she doesn't like consciously know this. Like she really hasn't been able to verbalize it, but I can just with my experience, I can hear it that she's not ready. She doesn't really want to change. Like
why?
And not like consciously want. Unconsciously, she doesn't want to change because change is, even if change is good,
scary.
Change is scary. And change, you know, to make that change is work. It requires energy, and it's like it's
but that's
easier.
That's not lazy.
No, because lazy infers that people are making a conscious choice.
They know.
You know, like you are sitting on the couch and the fucking drink is right there, and I'm sitting in the other room and you're like, Shawna, can you get up and get my drink for me? Okay. And then I'm like, you're being fucking lazy. Get up and get it yourself, you asshole.
So
like,
what would you, a word to describe her, an adjective, not her being stuck? What is, she's just afraid?
I mean, unfortunately, I don't think that there's one word that I would use.
You can name a few.
I mean, fear is absolutely one adjective. I mean, loneliness. People, they you know, I learned this, I saw this firsthand, and this brought it home. I had a client that was so stuck that she was willing to stay in this horrible situation where she was in life. I mean, she was morbidly obese and just super, super lonely, but that was the life that she knew, and that was a life that was comfortable and safe for her. And so that, I mean, I guess maybe just fear, like it's to make changes, like then you have to deal with potentially people are, you know, going to deny you because you're making these changes, and they're going to make you feel bad about yourself. And it's like, at least if I'm in this, you know, the robe I've been wearing, like I know this robe, I know how safe it is, and you know, I know how to defend that it's
don't get
dirty
hurt
or
if I stay here.
Yeah, and then if you know,
I'm
if
just
I
not
take,
happy.
Right. But I'm safe, and if I take this robe off for a robe that you're telling me is better and cleaner and, you know, newer, but you know, what if somebody says, well, that's an ugly robe, or what if somebody says, you know, that color's not in season, or whatever? It's like, I don't know how to deal with that because I've never dealt with it before, and it's not. I mean, it's. I probably maybe just fear. I think that's it. I think, like you said, it can be multiple things. I think the biggest thing stopping anyone from reaching anything, if they are hesitant or they're like making excuses or whatever it is, I think it's the biggest thing is fear. Like what it's like when it comes to a business. What if I try to make a business and it fails? What if I try to lose weight and I tell you, hey, I'm going to lose weight, and then I don't next week, and then you're like, hey, well, why don't you lose weight? And then I feel like crap. Right.
So it's like, I think that's the biggest thing. And everyone's like, I know this route. If I stay here, I'm not going to get much happier because my happiness is capped in this route that I'm going on, but I know it can't get worse.
Right.
So I think
it's kind of like how we have our athletes at the gym that can move decently heavy weight, but they're horrible movers, and it's like
that's nobody at our gym. Maybe just one.
But and we want them to move better. But in order for them to move better, they have to relearn how to do, you know, cleans or deadlifts or squats, right? And so when they relearn, they're going to probably not going to be able to move as much weight while they're relearning. Mm-hmm. And who they are as a person is now challenged because they're so-and-so who can get this on a Metcon, you know, if it's got a barbell in it, or whatever the movement is, right? And so they're going to lose that status. They're going to lose that reputation because now, you know, maybe they can only clean 50% of what they were able to before. But you know, so they would rather move like shit, potentially get hurt, but maintain who they know they are right now.
So the same route.
Yeah. People are dumb. No, they're not dumb. They're not
No,
dumb.
they're lazy. Remember that's what I said.
No, they're not lazy.
So I guess the biggest reason why people don't reach their goals is because what was the first thing we originally started? It's because their why isn't strong enough. It can't. And is it or they're afraid, or is their why not strong enough? And part of that reason why it's not strong enough is because they're afraid. If they had enough bravery to go out, then their why. If they're
good word.
No.
That was a good word. Brave.
What, bravery.
Yeah.
I think it's side by side. Because I think if it depends on how. So if your fear meter is at 99 of 100 and your why is at 80, it doesn't matter. If your why, all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, I'm fucking tired of this, and your why is at 100, then you trump the fear. Right. You're gonna still be afraid.
Yeah.
So I think those are the two biggest.
You gotta jump.
I think the biggest thing is fear.
Yeah.
And then once your why is stronger than your fear, that's when you're willing to take the jump.
Yeah. Boom. That was lame. Do that again. I knew you were gonna do that.
So I thought it was a really good topic because of the fact that like I see, I mean, not that this is the case all the time. Like again, obviously nothing is always concrete, but like when people usually like in the gym are a little more hesitant to take change. You could tell they're kind of making excuses for certain things. I could see that also happening to them in their daily life. If I see someone come into the gym that's super successful, it's very smart, it's like it's a mentality for sure. If someone that comes into the gym and is very smart, very intelligent, has a well-off paying job, and I say, hey, your clean looks like crap, we need to do this, they're not gonna go, oh, I know more than you, because that's not how you become rich, successful, smart. Is you learn, you take things in, and even though they think that, even if they might think that they know more than I do, they might take it to heart and then apply it, and then if it works, cool. If it doesn't. But like people that like are very like, there's one at the gym. He's been gone for about over a year now. That I did not enjoy having my classes at all. Every single thing I said, it was smart alecky. It was like, oh well, he always came to the class late. It was always like, never took anything serious. And so then I could see that also being a common theme in his life as well. Like it did not surprise me if he also did this outside of certain things or made excuses or whatever it may be, because he was very quick. He was so witty at making an excuse right off the bat. So I feel like in order to be a successful person, you don't just get really good at one thing. I mean, that's a part of it. Like you have to master one thing to whatever it is. But it's a character.
Absolutely.
It's a whole circle. It's a whole. You have to be good at relationships. You have to be able to understand, able to communicate, all these different things that make like if you're lacking one of these things, you're severely capping how well you could be at whatever your aspirations are.
You have to develop the character first, and you can like build the business or get good at your performance in the gym or whatever while you're building that character. But if you don't build that foundation of like who you are, and then who are you going to be, what are you going to do when shit hits the fan and it doesn't go your way? We had that conversation this morning, like, that is, if you ask me, I have two mottos. It's whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or it might make you really, really sick. Because sometimes
you should end that motto a little sooner.
I look at food and I'm like, is this edible? Like, has this been in the fridge too long? And I'm like, I might die or I might get really sick.
Or it might put nutrients in my body.
Yeah. And then the other one is, it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you choose to handle it that defines who you are.
It's your perspective on it.
100%.
I wanted to say this, I forgot about it. It's kind of like how you were saying, all it takes is one little thing in someone's like in their childhood, and all of a sudden now the whole world's crumbling down upon them. Whereas like I was thinking about this today also. I don't know why it came into my head, but it was like literally, I've been having this kind of life, this kind of mentality for a while, but it's been more heightened as of recently. But it's like literally someone always, I bug people when I ask them, hey, how's it going? And they say, it's all right, it's going. I ask them, oh, really? Why is that? They're like, oh, well, it's another day. And I'm like, your day looks pretty awesome to me. You had work, you had a family, you have a car, you got here with a car, you didn't have to take a bus to get here. It's like literally nothing. If I wake up tomorrow and I have, I'm missing a leg, thank God I have my other leg. Thank God I have 2 arms. I can still grab stuff. I can still use my hands. Like, it's literally like...
I'd rather lose a leg than an arm.
True. Yeah, it's very... I'd much rather have 2 arms than 2 legs. Knock on wood. Oh my God, it's bad. Anyways, it's like, life could always be so much worse. Obviously, if that ever did happen to me, that might affect my mental state. I definitely wouldn't be as optimistic as I am right now.
Right.
But I do try to live that way now, so that way when the little things happen, I'm not, oh my God, it's the worst day ever. Like someone cuts me off. I didn't just have like road rage. Like I would flip people off and like curse and honk my horn. But like in my head, I let that fester. I'm like, that piece of crap. Like, he thinks the world revolves around him. He's gonna cut in front of me. What if I cause an accident, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, funny story. The other day, we were driving back from Marietta, where my dad is.
Yeah.
And some person was driving. So I was going like 80 in lane 1. Some person's coming behind me going like 90. And they go from the first lane all the way to the 4th lane. So it was like me and a bunch of other cars like on the way. So they saw the 4th lane was open. So they went from 90 to the 4th lane. There was a guy coming with like 90 in the 4th lane already, and then caused that person to swerve and then freaking go into the dirt and flip, like not flip, but like spin out and stuff, and like jack up their car. The person kept going. We called the police on him. But it's like literally everyone, and that's a whole other story. Again, people are so self-centered. But like, I try not to let the little things fester in me, so that when the big things happen, my world is gonna start crumbling down.
Right.
It's like, so that's why when I talk to members and I say, I got on one guy that comes in the morning, I'm not gonna say his name, but he's always like, oh, I'm all right, every single time. I'm like, why do you say that? And he's like, well, And like, the next day I saw him, hey, how you doing, man? I almost said his name right now. And he's like, I'm doing great. And I'm like, yeah, because life is so much, like there could be so, I see homeless people all day long. And I'm like, dang, I'm so lucky that's not me. I was thinking about, oh man, I can keep going all day long. I was thinking about another thing today. I was literally sitting there in my car driving somewhere. I saw a homeless guy sit on the curb, and I was like, it's literally so sad that that's, not just a creature, but like
it's a human being.
It's a human being that could maybe have a family, that could have had a family, that could have been a serious help with something, but maybe he was trying, start up a nonprofit, went bankrupt, shit hit the fan, and now is in a situation. So like, I've been more conscious of like giving when I can and trying to do more stuff, because it's like, not only do I believe in karma and like everything comes full circle, but it's like, it's super crazy to think that like literally your life could be so much worse in a heartbeat.
But like, and that whole thing, like, so the model of addiction, they used to say if you had someone that was an alcoholic or addicted to drugs, and you give them like, okay, you quit fucking drinking or I'm gonna leave you, right? Well, they're realizing that one of the reasons that people become addicted to substances to begin with is because they're missing the human connection. They're lonely. And so they are trying to self-soothe with drugs and alcohol. So we turn away these people that are already hurting beyond measure, and we deny them the one thing that would potentially heal them, right? And that, like, it goes back to your character. Like, you're never going to be a homeless person because you have built a network of people that value who you are. So if, you built, like Roderick, if he built Rollo Athletics and it fucking, God forbid, failed in massive proportions, like, we would take him in. If you, rode off with Constantly Varied Fitness and, you were trying to live off that, like, you would always have a support system because you've built that support system. You've worked on it, right? So it's like, that goes hand in hand. Like, you look at a lot of these individuals that are living a mediocre lives and they don't work on their relationships. They don't value and spend time with people in their lives that they care about. And so they don't have that, like, they don't have that prop. They don't have that people to make them feel good about themselves. Yeah, so it's like, it's a, we just solved the whole world right now. With
Well, some organization, do what we just said.
Get unstuck and have people to stay connected with. But yeah, it's like, it goes back again. You wouldn't be a homeless person on the street. I wouldn't be a homeless person on the street, because it's also like, if shit did hit the fan, you wouldn't stop and say, why did this happen to me? You would say, why did this happen, and what can I do? Exactly. It's like injury, dude. Literally. So I did a really great snatch this morning. I was snatching and I was so excited about it. And I sent videos to like everybody.
Yeah, you Facebook messaged me and said Huddy, and I was like, something wrong? Why is she Facebook messaging me?
I was so excited. But I have injured myself. So I've been doing CrossFit for almost 7 years, and I've injured myself a few times. And I'm trying to get to the next level of CrossFit, and both of my shoulders are not really happy with it. So I've been having tendonitis in them, and everything that happens to you in life, you have the opportunity to see it as a blessing. And people don't want to process that, especially when bad things happen. But injury is a perfect example. And it would be shitty if you got hit by a car. Like it's gonna take some work to find the blessings in that. Mm-hmm. But because,
if you get hit by a car and you're still breathing, that's a blessing.
Right, you're still alive. And maybe you connect with a family member that. But like with my shoulders, like the reason my snatch is getting so good is because I built out the back of my shoulders and all the stabilizer muscles that were super weak because I wasn't addressing them. So now that I'm like, well, I can't have my shoulders hurt when I do all of this, gymnastic stuff. So now I'm spending 2 hours a day working on my shoulders, and now I can actually pull when I snatch. Like, Sush, look at how good he is at gymnastics. He's thrown his back out, and he
mobilizes for like 45 an hour every single day before he works out.
He's got a massive solid core, and he can do a free standing handstand on the parallettes for 30 seconds. Like, you have the opportunity to find a blessing in everything bad if you choose to.
Mm-hmm. It's all perspective. It's all you make your own happiness.
100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all. I think we could keep going forever,
yeah.
But I feel like we should end it now, and maybe save all this good stuff for another time. Anything else you want to finish with?
Eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables. Yeah, back to the very first thing, nutrition. Yeah, eat your vegetables, help you lose weight.
Stretch, sleep. 8 hours a day, eat your damn vegetables.
Yeah. For those of you guys that have been staying tuned with us on Instagram, Roll Athletics is dropping very, very soon. A lot of content will be on there. It's going to be a great platform for you guys. We have a Facebook page where we're going to answer everyone's questions, like a lot of common things we've seen. Starting off when doing CrossFit, or even a few years in CrossFit, people still have issues that cause them from not hitting whatever they want to do or hit their PRs and that kind of stuff. So if you're not already, go to rollathletics.com and leave your email, and we'll get to you guys with all the information that's going to drop on that. We're helping with that as well, so it really helps us out if you guys go there and support us in any way you can. We have shirts up for sale also on Roll Athletics Instagram. Thank you guys. If you watched all the way through, you're a freaking trooper. Yeah, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe for plenty more. We're trying to get back to weekly uploads. We're crushing it for a while, but then life happens.
Life happens. Yeah,
then I got super
adulting.
depressed. I was very unhappy because my life was crumbling around me, and then no, it wasn't.
I was like, you're lame. You didn't tell me. That's what friends are for.
No, yeah, everything's been good. Just busy. Cool, awesome. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Again, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. See you guys next episode.